So, Monica, how's it going? I hear you've got some good news for us.
Yes, I just passed my paramedic yesterday. Very first testing. I tested once, passed it. Got the minimum amount of questions, felt pretty confident in it, which is very different from about 3 weeks ago before I started with Joshua.
Okay.
Um, his program works. It definitely connects the dots that you learn in medic school. I felt like I got a spattering of lots of stuff in medic school, but wasn't quite sure how to make everything connect. And following Joshua's program made me walk into the test with confidence. And I walked out and had to wait 7 hours for my test, which was the absolute worst 7 hours of my life for the results. But I did get the pass, and so here we are.
Wow,
It's possible.
congratulations. So, passed on your first attempt, not only passed
Yes.
on your first attempt in the minimum number of questions. So, on the
Yes,
paramedic exam, the minimum number is 110 questions, the max is 150. You passed in 110 questions on your first
I
attempt.
did.
And check this out. And all of this happened in 24 days. So from the
Yes.
time you started with us, 24 days later, you are now a paramedic. So what does this feel
Yes.
like?
It is amazing. I feel a lot more confident being able to care for my patients, even when I've been using your program as an EMT. I've said a few things to some of my medic partners, and they're like, "Why do you know that?" And I'm like, "Well, let me tell you." And so it's great to be able to feel confident when you're treating somebody and to feel like you understand why you're doing the treatments. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I got out of your program is the whole why. And I saw you
Mm,
challenging, was it what was the gentleman's name that you were talking to the first?
Christian.
Christian. I saw you challenging Christian, and if you watched my facial expressions, I was like, "Eeks, I just passed paramedic school, and I have no clue what that exactly was that you were talking about." So I have to go
Okay.
back and watch your video, and it's amazing that just connecting everything and seeing how another thing that I do on the side is I'm a death investigator. And
Oh,
so the information that you just
wow.
shared about rhabdo, I
Uh-huh.
knew about, or sorry, not rhabdo, rigor mortis.
Yeah.
I knew about it and I knew what to look for when I go out and I do my scenes and things like that, but didn't know the full effect of how it got where it was.
Wow.
So that even helped in my other job. So
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. So I want to ask you, bring us the story. Um, so you were in paramedic school, you're kind of
Yep.
in the capstone portion of your paramedic program. And how did you even get into our world?
So I was scheduled to finish my paramedic program and have capstone done at the end of July.
Hmm.
And I noticed your
Mm,
information just flipped across the screen on Facebook one day.
hmm.
And I was like, huh, interesting. So I kind of looked at it. I watched one of your videos. I looked back at our messaging back and forth, and I had started messaging you on June 9th
Okay.
about the program going, "Oh, I don't know if I should do that. I'm still in medic school. Maybe it's gonna be too much." And you're like, "Now's the time. You wanna
Okay.
pass on your first attempt. I think now's the time for you."
Uh-huh.
Um, I kinda wavered back and forth. You invited me to a live session. You sent a few videos. I watched them, and
Hmm.
I'm like, "Wow, he's got something here." And so I
Mm.
actually didn't end up signing up, I think, until, like, June 24th. So I kinda sat on the fence for a couple weeks. Once I jumped in, I was full
No, you
throttle.
actually
I
signed
was
up in July.
or July, yes,
Yeah.
July 24th. I said that wrong. So June 9th is when I started talking to you, and July 24th, I signed up, something of that nature. Anyhow, my days are getting confused, but it
Okay.
was quite a distance of time between when I talked to you and when I signed up.
Okay.
So I've only been doing it. Yes, you are correct. It was the beginning of July. So I've only been actually present in the community for about 3 weeks,
Yeah.
just over 3 weeks before I tested. And the amount that I learned in that 3 weeks was insane. My advice to all of you that are just starting or getting ready to take your test is go on the lives, be present.
Mhm.
If you understand the information, you're going to get a pearl out of every single lecture. There's something that you're going to hear and go, oh, that
Mhm.
that makes a whole lot more sense. The drawings are amazing. I love the drawings. I love the fact that you, at one point, challenged me. I was actually really mad that I didn't get any specific questions on hyperkalemia because I feel really confident on that. After you challenged me to do a little video explaining hyperkalemia and posting it on the
Sure.
community. And honestly, though, in the end, it's just everything connects somehow. And I'm
Mhm.
realizing that now with your program. In medic school, it was like, yep, got cardiology, check, moving on.
Okay.
Yep, pulmonology, check, moving on. And didn't see how everything just connected. So
So I want to
that's
ask.
been amazing.
So you decide. So at some point you decide, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in with this program, and you're
Yep,
going through. So what was that first session like? You go to day one, which is cohort one, session one. What
yep.
what was that like? Like you're going through.
Ah,
So now you're no longer just watching me on YouTube. You've invested your time and your money into the program,
yep,
and you
yep,
signed up at the pro level, right?
yep.
Okay, so that got you all the bonus resources, like the comprehensive study guide, the Coach Joshua's drawing study guide, the rapid drills, the audio drills, the EKG mastery
Hmm.
challenge. You got it all. And
Yep.
so you're going through this first video, day one. And what's that experience like?
Kind of like Christians, I was like, "Oh, wow, this is new. It's nothing I've ever seen before." Like
Okay.
your teaching style is so much different than any teaching styles that I've ever experienced.
And
I
and
think
explain
I
that a little
mentioned
more so that people understand what you're saying.
so I kind of mentioned to you that I had purchased the paramedic coach program at the beginning of my medic school,
Mm,
just wanting to have that extra resource. And I used it a little. I
hmm
never even made it all the way through his program because I got bored.
mm,
Um, PowerPoints didn't work for me. I would use his information sometimes if I was like, "Oh, what's this?"
hmm
But even then, it would be, it wasn't connecting. It was very isolated.
Okay.
Here is we're going to go through cardiology. Here we're going to go through this, and it was very isolated to each topic and
hmm
nothing connected.
hmm
And so, just after watching, your sample videos that you sent me, the free videos saying, "Hey, watch these. If it works for your learning style, great. Hop on. Would love
hmm
to support you." Um, just from watching those, it was clear to me that in order for me to be a good provider, I needed to understand how everything affected the other
Absolutely.
thing.
hmm
And so, yeah, so your comment of not wanting to be a 950, that also was something that resonated with me because I don't want to just be someone that has the patch on my shoulder that says, "Hey, I'm a paramedic."
Absolutely.
Um, I want to have the knowledge and I want to be able to care for my patients to the best of my ability.
And I that's so good to hear because so many medics out there in the streets are the 950. Yes, they have a patch, they have a wallet card, people call them a paramedic, it's on their shirt, but when it really matters and somebody's life is on the line, it's like, whoa, they don't know what to do. Or
Yes,
they're
and I'll
just
be
making
honest,
it.
when I started my capstone, before I started with you, when I started my capstone,
Mhm.
I was like, I don't know if I should be doing this because I don't
Mm,
know enough to be able to care for this person." And
wow.
like a week and a half, 2 weeks in, I'm like, "Hey, I got this. I understand why this connects to this and this connects to this." And the confidence level just went up even during my capstone time.
Wow.
And then it just made me want to learn more,
Okay. So you
which
said that your
is amazing.
confidence improved and
Oh, yes.
this new or this overwhelming feeling of confidence now also causes you to want to learn more. I've heard
Oh,
so many
yes.
students say that. They say that, like I remember Jalen, and I don't know if you remember seeing him in some of the cohort videos, but
Mm,
Jalen, I saw him on day one, like his day one, and he was a little rusty. He was a little rough around the
mhm.
edges. But by the time he finished, I remember this one day, we're doing a session, a live Q&A, doing our office hours. I get to a question on anaphylaxis, and I was like, all right, well, Jalen, tell me anaphylaxis. And he's like, hey, you want me to start back at sensitization? I'm like, sure, show off. but
Nice. I
but
love
to
that.
see that and the way he was able to just articulate all this stuff about what happens on your first exposure, then your second exposure, and he took me all the way through uh, the IgE and the IgE cross-linking and uh, activation of the mast cell and degranulation and histamine release and leukotriene. I mean, he's just rattling all this stuff off. And I'm like, who
Mhm.
is this guy?
Yes,
But
yes.
he said, he said in that moment, he felt like his confidence was through the roof. And he's like,
Yes.
hey, I feel ready. And I think it was maybe 2 days later, he went and passed his test.
That's
and
awesome.
but we've seen this pattern over and over and over. So I want to ask you, you jumped into the program and there's so many resources because we
Mhm.
have resources for all learning styles. Obviously, there are lots of pictures. Would you agree?
Yes, yes. I love
Okay,
the
there are pictures,
pictures.
pictures, pictures. And did that really help you?
It did. It
Okay.
did. I am a very visual learner and
Mhm.
also a learner that I constantly need to be challenged. So I guess the one little tidbit I'll tell you is that going through my paramedic school, it was an accelerated program, and I got a 4.0 my entire
Mm.
paramedic.
Okay.
And everybody's like, "Ooh, you got a 4.0," and they were so excited for me, which grateful that they were.
Right.
However, when I was talking to my daughter, I'm like, "I don't know, are they just, like, handing out these grades, like,
Ooh.
just giving good grades? Because I don't feel like a 4.0
Okay.
knowledge student right now."
Okay.
And then
Mm.
after I started with your program, I'm like, "Oh, heck yeah, I am a 4.0 knowledge student right now. I'm getting this. This is
Okay.
making sense." And it was strange to me that I could have, 3 instructors that would be giving me that grade, and it didn't occur to me that, "Yep, you're learning, you're doing these things," and the confidence piece until everything just went full circle. I think when you understand things, it
Mhm.
makes learning fun,
Mhm.
and when you have somebody that is interactive, and that's one of the other things your program does that none of the other programs I ever even looked into or the paramedic coach, he didn't have any live hours. I
Mhm.
never spoke with the person that put on the program.
Mhm.
All those different things really mattered for me personally.
And that's something we hear consistently. That's probably the number one thing I hear is that, hey, coach, Level Up Medic, it's very interactive. There's a lot of engagement. There's a
Mhm.
lot of calling on students. It's like what you've seen today, where with Christian, we were going over a topic, and I'm like, all right, teach that back to me.
Mhm.
And there's
Mhm.
a lot of that, and that's happening the entire time. So
Yep.
what of the resources did you find most useful? Because you used a lot. I remember you telling me that you used the audio drills,
Yes.
where it was me in your ear drilling you.
Yep.
What of the resources did you use, and what was most helpful?
So I was on a little bit more of a time crunch with trying to get through all of the cohorts
Okay.
and do it the way that you had it. So
Hmm.
I followed it the best that I could. I did get all the way through the NREMT 5-day course
Okay.
because I struggled with order of doing things
Okay.
and memorization kind of thing. So I went through all that, thought get back to the basics, start there, got through the entire first, cohort, the entire second cohort,
Okay.
and then I got through, most of the third,
Okay.
and then I'm like, "You know what? I'm going on vacation on August 12th. I have to get this done before I leave." And so I scheduled
Vacation's going
it.
to be much nicer now.
It's gonna be much nicer, but I love the audio. I love the fact that if I was confident on something that you were maybe saying, I could speed it up. I wouldn't skip through it. I would just speed up
Sure.
the speaking, and I still was like there were a couple times I had it sped up and you said something, and I'm like, "Oh, hold up, pause, reduce the speed," and went
Okay.
back and listened because I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that piece." So,
Okay.
just having that flexibility and then, um, having the resource of looking up on the comprehensive study guide if there was anything that I was specifically struggling with, I was able to do that, which was great. I know when you I really appreciate me when or appreciate the fact that when I told you I was testing, you're like, "All right, awesome. Here's what you should do for XYZ this day, this day, this day."
Got to
And
fly in
then
here.
actually I saw that, getting some feedback of, "Great, you did well on those exams. However, do you understand why you got those
Mhm.
other ones wrong?" And actually, I don't wanna say challenge, but to me, I felt like it was a good challenging statement of, okay, I don't want to just see you get 96% on these
Mhm.
exams if you don't understand the 2% that or 4% that you got wrong.
Mhm.
Do you understand that? Go back and look at why your answers were wrong
Hmm.
and understand it. And I know when I first had talked to you, I said I was struggling a little bit with like asthma and COPD and understanding if that was an oxygen issue or a perfusion issue.
Hmm.
And just having you take that quick minute of clearing that in my brain so that it just got in the right slot and I could move on to the next thing.
So for the people out there in the world who are saying, "Hey, does this guy really like support these students?" What would you say?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. If I had a question, I mean, I think I had messaged you not expecting a response one time when you were out of town and
Hmm.
you responded. Even though you were out of town, you
Hmm.
responded to my question. I passed my test. Actually, you had checked in yesterday after I took my test and said, "Hey, any updates?" And that was, maybe I think 6 hours after,
Okay.
and I had nothing. And so then when I actually got my results, I just sent you the pass,
Uh-huh.
and I got a phone call from Joshua last night at 10:38 congratulating me for passing. So the support is definitely there and it means a lot to me. So I
So right
appreciate that.
now there are about 200 students, 200 plus students in the community. Every single student has gotten a call from me.
That's amazing.
Every single student. So we, I don't know how long we'll be able to continue doing that. For the time being, I'll do that as much as I can, but we definitely want you to feel supported. And what I will say in your case, like you and Billy, there were some of you that I was seeing like every session, every live
Mhm.
session that we've done over the last few weeks. I think you've been at all of them. But that's what I want other people to do. I want them to show up and like you did today. So you already passed your exam
Yep.
yesterday and you're here
Yep.
with us today, continuing
Oh,
to
the
learn.
learning's
So
not done. The learning's just starting.
I
I
love
mean,
it.
I've
I love
learned
it.
enough, but I'm so much more to learn.
Well, hey, well, hopefully this inspires some other people to jump in with us. If you know people who are struggling, I invite you to recommend them to us. As I mentioned to you last night, um, for we don't offer this for everybody, but for certain people, they do have the option to be able to participate in our affiliate referral program, and we'll tell you more about that. But I definitely want you to send people our way so that we can help more people. I wish everybody was you. Like I wish everybody joined me on their first attempt. The overwhelming
Yes.
majority of people don't find me until they've already failed three, four. We have so many people who've already failed five times. And then there's like all this pressure where I've got to help them
Mhm.
on that last attempt. And we've helped so many people pass from attempts number one all the way through six. I just wish I got more people starting out with me. Because when you fail these exams, it costs you. Fortunately, you didn't have to experience this, but so many people do where they pay all these exam fees. Then they have to pay
Mhm.
remediation after a third failure. They
Yep.
like at the paramedic level, I think it's around $175 per test. So
It
not
is,
only
yeah.
are you paying out money in exam fees, remediation fees, all these programs that you're using, it's also costing you a lot of time and it's wasting a lot of time because you're just out there in limbo trying to figure things out. And then the other thing is it eats away at your soul after a while because that,
I was just gonna say the emotional energy that it takes
yes,
to be defeated
because nobody
and
wants to
to come
just
back up.
study forever, right?
Mhm.
Because it's like, man, I'm spending all this time, I'm studying. I don't even know if I'm studying the right stuff. I'm spending hours a day for weeks on end, for months. And then you look up and it's like 6 months have passed and you're still in study mode, right? And
Yeah.
people at work, they keep asking you, hey, you took your test yet? You passed? What's going on? When are you going to pass? And then some people
Mhm.
are getting extra pressure from their job of like, hey, if you don't pass, your job is gone. Like you're out of here.
Yep.
Or
Yeah.
there's some people that they're waiting on a job. They have a job potentially there available once they pass, but then they don't pass and then now it's like my job is on the line. So failing actually costs way more than the money. Do you feel that your investment in time, money, energy, resources and all of that was worth it?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, without a doubt. It's one of the I actually just had this exact conversation with my fiancé last night when he said, "Well, how much does it cost to take a paramedic test. And
Mhm.
I said, it's $175. I
Mhm.
said, because when I had bought your program, I had told them, I said, it's a little spendier than a lot of programs.
Sure.
However, in the end, I don't want to take this twice. And the emotional damage that it would do for me personally, knowing my personality,
Mhm.
the emotional damage it would do for me to not pass when I put in all this time would be very defeating.
Mhm.
And then it would be harder for me to be able to go into second, third, fourth attempt because I would feel pressure. I would feel that extra pressure. And so the monetary piece was literally nothing right
Mhm.
now. I look back at it and I'm like, it was nothing. Um,
And the other
the
thing, realistically, is you are now able to go out and start earning. So
mhm,
you'll see your return back very quickly just in your paycheck. Like
yep,
just going to the higher level paycheck, that's an almost immediate return, literally in a matter of
mhm,
like 1 or 2 shifts. Like in one
right,
or two shifts at the paramedic pay, you've now made your money back. But
yep.
do you can you confidently say that you did not just learn how to pass a test in our program,
Oh
you
gosh,
actually learned.
no,
Okay, you tell me.
I I absolutely didn't just learn how to pass a test. I came to you so that I didn't have to, so that I could pass the
Sure.
test, and I think I learned the technique of how to take a test in the first session, and then
Mhm.
after that, it was just about learning. It was just
Okay.
about studying and learning. And so you pivoted me from studying to pass this test to studying to be a better provider.
Mhm.
And that is probably and wanting to. So you had made the comment that nobody wants to, I almost interrupted you when you said nobody wants to study for the rest of their life. And
Mhm.
I don't wanna study for the rest of my life, but I wanna learn for the rest of my life,
Absolutely.
and that's something that has evoked in me from this program is that before I was studying just to pass the test, but when I started this program, I was learning because
Mhm.
I was taking different platform tests. I told you that I did it to make sure that it worked on everybody's platform, not
Sure.
just your test, everybody's.
Sure.
And I went from scoring in the, 70, 80% on the practice NREMT tests on different platforms to the day before, I was getting 96%,
Nice.
98%. And then I use ChatGPT a lot.
Okay.
And I had put in there, give me a study, give me a national registry test as close to the registry as possible.
Mhm.
No hints, blah, 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 make them difficult. They
Mhm.
use the whole cat thing. And at the very end, they said, what I've noticed about you in the last 3 weeks is that you're no longer memorizing facts. You are
Wow.
addressing life threats and
Mm.
you are fixing life threats and you are realizing what's going to kill your patient first and preventing that.
Wow.
That is
Wow.
huge. And I went, oh my gosh, it's working. So I
How did that
appreciate
make
that
you
because that's
feel?
really my goal. It felt amazing. As a matter
Okay.
of fact, I told my fiance sitting next to me that I actually feel like I can be a paramedic, like hearing even that feedback and hearing the
Mm.
things through you and, calling my daughter who's an RN going,
Mhm.
"Hey, I get this. This is
Wow.
so cool. Did you
Wow.
know X, Y, and Z?" So yeah, it's great. Can't say enough great things. I'm glad I found you. I don't know it. It happened. It was
Okay.
meant to happen, I guess.
Hey, it worked out the way it needed to work out, and I just want to
Yes.
let you know how proud I am of you. Thank you for trusting me
Thank
along the
you.
journey. Thank you for trusting me as your coach. But you did the work. I was just the guy sitting here talking and drawing pictures.
Sometimes I have this little saying in my little brain that I've carried through all my life, and sometimes you need somebody to believe in you before you can believe in yourself, and I feel like
Mm.
that's
Oh
kinda what you
wow,
did.
wow, wow!
So,
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I do want you to
Yeah, of
continue
course.
learning with us now. Take
Yeah.
a couple days off to just
Yeah,
relax your brain and all.
I'll be off when I go on my motorcycle trip, so you won't see me for about 10 days
Okay.
mid-August, so,
But
yeah,
take some time to just kind of enjoy yourself, to recharge, to just enjoy life and
for
enjoy
sure.
family and all of that. But then come
Absolutely.
back into us now that you've passed. Now is when you want to go into the EKG Mastery Challenge that you got as a part of those pro level resources, because
Yep.
I will go way more in depth with cardiology and EKGs. You didn't need to know all of that to pass national registry, but you do need to know things like that to be a great medic, Now is the time to just be able to focus on that now that you no longer have the pressure of the test. So,
For sure.
congratulations, superstar. You
Thank
did it,
you.
champ.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem. So, who else we got next? Jeff, you're actually testing today.